What's good with YouTube? You already know Big Flocka with a convict's perspective. And I'm going to smash, dash, and slide on through with a whole lot of energy. You already know what time it is, man. Hit that bell notification, man. Hit that comment section, like it. Do all those things to help support this channel, man. Hope everybody's having a positive week so far. And we're going to go into a different topic today. We're going to talk about gangs and choices. The criminal lifestyle, choices. What I mean by choices is, what is more important to you as an individual? A lot of people have made different decisions in their lives throughout their lives. If you live in that criminal lifestyle, gangs, drug dealing, crime, a lot of times you're going to end up locked up. A lot of times you're going to be in positions to where you're defending your gang or you're defending someone from a gang or whatnot and get caught up in a situation. A lot of times you may be naive to what's going on and still get crossed up, like how recent indictments are going on. Choices though, man. Where do you stand when it comes between your family and the gang? And that's a question that everybody has to ask themselves. Do you, as individuals out there, right, as listeners, do you feel being a gang member you could have a family life and do all that at the same time and actually be a real gang member, really active, really with the functions? I don't think you can. I think that you're on borrowed time when you come out from prison or jail. And like, say if you're a half status or you're plugged in or whatnot, I think it's borrowed time. So therefore, you've already automatically made your choice. You've chose the gang over your own family. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people do not want to admit that. Now, at a young age, so that's why the gangs are always being influenced to occur when you're young. That's why the gangs, the drugs and all that, the women become an addictive type of your personality, something that you're in your comfort zone when you're out in the streets. Why so many people get out of prison, they sometimes gravitate towards that. Or sometimes they think that they're older so they can elevate their skills in the game. A lot of times they can't. So what is more important for most people? You can't say that you a functioning, active individual, in my opinion, as far as for up north. I learned something from a South Sider, active one, who explained to me that their term of active is a little bit different than ours. You don't have to be with the functions on the streets, because he didn't look at any of the South Sider channels as active, he said, as far as from our perspective, but they have different terms, But let me ask people, like, this is a topic that nobody discusses, because I went through a whole different situation, right? I'm saying? Everybody knows the story, right? And other people went through their situations, Some of these choices that other people made were not for their families, were not for the best interest of them. It was for their own individuals' purposes. It was for their own reasoning. However you want to spin it or whatnot, it wasn't done because their fucking families was done wrong or whoa. It was because of how they felt on a personal level, and that's why people need to really sit there and come to terms and look at their life as far as what do they want from it. You can't be a gangster, right, and really be a legitimate family man. I don't believe in that. I don't believe there's no way possible. So therefore, are people really with the shit that are on the streets? Are they really with that action? Are they really with that business? Nah, they're not. Are they really living that gangster life? No, because you have a choice either to really live it or not. And if you are really out there actively in the functions, anybody, what are you going to do when you're put in those predicaments to where you got fucked over because you were involved in this, or this person did this or did that? What choice are you going to make when you choose between your family and gang? So that's why a lot of people at times will get caught up in, these indictments, and they decide to flip, because a lot of times they may not even be involved in these functions, but they get put in an uncompromising situation because of somebody else. That's why I'm a firm believer. If I like to do any type of crimes, right, say post my past, right, everything I do, I have to be in agreement that I'm okay doing it. Therefore, I have to take the consequences for my actions. And that's just the truth of it. People at times, there's a lot of different things that happen in this lifestyle, and when you bridge it with a group, you can't expect to have a group of convicts, criminals, and eagles, and people who maybe don't have the same educational attainments. Some people have characteristic defects such as jealousy and envy. Some people are greedy. You have all kinds of different dynamics. You can't put that together and make it work. In Vados, sometimes it works because a lot of times in Vados, you're dealing with 15, 20 people that you really call your brother. Now, when you start to deal with people as far as in prison and the streets and gangs that are not traditionally your homeboy, there's always going to be that chance for conflict. You know what I'm saying? And if one side holds more authority, what are you going to do with that choice? Are you going to acknowledge that person, or are you going to pick your family? Because there's a lot of people who get put in those situations where they have the choice to pick between their family and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Myself, my family was disrespected, you know what I'm saying, to the highest level over money. You know, was I supposed to be loyal to the gang and say fuck it, or was I supposed to be loyal to them? You know what I'm saying? And that's a question you have to ask yourself. You know, you can sit there and say, well, I would have did this, I would have did that. People say that all the time, right? But they haven't walked those shoes. They haven't even walked a fucking 50 feet in a lot of people's shoes. And, you know, that's just the truth of it. You know? And so until you do, then pass your judgment on certain things, man. Because I seen someone, right, they said, well, they made a comment and they said about loyalty. Well, you weren't loyal to this. Well, was I supposed to be loyal to that, or was I supposed to be loyal to my family? This brought all the attention and unwanted heat and the disloyalty and distrust that was surfaced from this life. What am I supposed to be pick? Right? I'm supposed to pick my family, which I ended up doing. And, you know, someone said that in a comment. They were talking about how someone used to always talk every time I got off the live about me being committed to my wife, and that I would get off the lives for my wife, and that it was like they would talk shit about it. Well, am I supposed to pick you, or am I supposed to pick my wife? I'm always going to pick the wife and family first, and a lot of times I did. I don't even think she realized that a lot of people used to talk about that. So these are the choices you have. What are you loyal to? To your individualist greed, to your purposes, whatever it may be. You know, and you're always going to pick your family before most situations if you're a real one. If you pick anything else, then you're really not shit. I don't care what type of fucking G code you're about. I don't care what type of respect you're trying to maintain. If you pick anything before your own kids because you want to have that reputation, you don't want your name to be in bad standings, don't be involved in that lifestyle then. You see what I'm saying? Pick and choose. If you're ready to ride and say, fuck your family, fuck your kids, I'll do life, then go be about that action. Because there's no one that's going to do it any better than anybody else has done it in the past. You know what I'm saying? If you're ready to take it on the chin when fucking your authority in charge fucks you over, tells you have to eat shit, say your mom gets assaulted, but hey, that dude was making us money, we're going to fucking find him. Or your mom, or your sister was fucking ran through when she ran through in a way that she didn't want it. And they tell you have to kick on back. They're going to say, oh, we're investigating it. You tell me how you going to react to that. If you can sit there and follow all proper procedures, then so be it. Where's your loyalty going to be? And those are the things that you have to ask yourself. That's why it's so important that we don't put ourselves in that predicament if we're not ready for the consequences. And see, everybody says at times we know what we signed up for. That's not true. We don't know about the betrayals and corruption and the disarray and the campaigning and all that stuff. It occurs in everyday life, but as far as in the criminal element of things, it's a whole different level. And it's basically hating. It's hating no matter how you word it, man. And, you know, these are things that I want people to sit there and try to ask themselves, you know, as, you know, what are you doing with your life? What are you going to pick first? You're going to pick your family? You're going to pick the gang? Are you going to pick your family? You're going to pick your name? You tell me. Because a lot of people talk high power this, high power that. You know what I'm saying? Yet they ain't been in those predicaments. You know what I'm saying? Especially as they get older. That's why a lot of homeboys don't get involved in the mix. Because it's in their best interest to put their family first. But what about those that are kind of in between, that are there and have obligations and commitments? Where do they stand? You see what I'm saying? And that's the unfortunate thing about this life that nobody talks about. Nobody talks about that potential. You may have this happen, that happen. You may go to 12 years in prison, and the same dude that you were working with on the streets may be trying to holler at your fucking lady right after. And he may, next you know, you're moved out, he's moved in. It's happened before, right? Many times. You know, or you may have a homeboy, he gets locked up. Next thing you know, a higher authority gets with him, and you have to accept the consequences. You know what I'm saying? So who are you going to pick? Who are you going to pick at the end of the day first? And that's the question I pose to anybody when it comes to living that life. You have a choice. You know what I'm saying? Do you pick your family? Do you pick your own self-respect and dignity to put your kids first? Or are you always going to put the gang? Hey, babe. Oh, I gotta go. We got to go take care of some business. Okay, whoa. Because eventually that's going to become tiring to your family. And eventually when it becomes tiring to your family, you already know what time it is. You're going to hear the nagging, you're going to hear the fucking fighting, and it's going to get to you. And that's why a lot of people also get caught up, man. You know what I'm saying? And so to prevent that, ask yourself what type of choice you would make in this life. You know, if you could sit there and wholeheartedly say that you're ready to go the distance, then go the distance. If you're not, then there's really nothing you got to say except for watch the content and enjoy. You know, give your opinion if you want, because anybody could do anything that they want. But sometimes opinions won't hold merit. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to be about this, about that, in order for people to sit there and recognize that what you say is true and what you say is facts and what you say has merit. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to talk about this one. It's easy to say, I would do this and do that. But 9 times out of 10, motherfuckers won't do that, what they say they're going to do. You know what I'm saying? Because it happens all the time. It happens all the time. I don't hear about it. There's some people who eat shit who will they will succumb to their own pride and integrity because they want to maintain their good standards as opposed to standing up for what's right at times. And see, this is where choices come in that gang lifestyle. And for any youngster or anybody that's fucking, you know, an adult out there, there's choices in this lifestyle, man. You know, you never know where it's going to lead you. You never know what it may be. You can't predict what the outcome's going to be. You know, and it's a very tiring lifestyle that doesn't give you the results that maybe you want for yourself or your family. Very few come out and have any type of longevity on the streets. And to me, longevity is when you stay out, you don't ever go back in. There's been a few that have been out for 3 years, 6 years, but eventually everybody gets hemmed up, man. You know what I'm saying? Now, there's a lot of people get put in bad situations, you know, where like they will maybe be in a situation where they have to pick the gang over their family. What is the right thing to do in that circumstance? Only one that can answer that's you. You know, if you were to pick between having your son die or your daughter die, right, and being in good standings, or having your son and daughter live and you fuck them over there, who are you going to pick every time? Answer that. If you can honestly say the gang and your reputation, I'm going to laugh. Because we know what time it is, man. And that's why a lot of people who are within these organizations at times, very few of them ever get out. And a lot of times they've done a long time, or a lot of times they get indoctrinated at a young age to where they haven't experienced the real world out there and the real experiences of having relationships, you know, as grown-ups. That's why most people are doing life. And they're basically playing fucking God from behind the walls with people who maybe came into this with righteous intentions. They were fucking indoctrinated. They got that fire. Next thing you know, they don't really know what the life is about. They become schooled in it. And now as they get involved in it, they see what it really is. And nothing is ever what you're first taught. You know, it's like looking at those commercials on Carl's Jr. or whatever. You see this big old fucking nice burger. And then when you get there, it ain't what it is. It's a fucking mirage. Same thing with this gang lifestyle at times. Doesn't mean that there's not good dudes. Doesn't mean there's not righteous people that are pushing. But for me, as a man, everything I do has to be what I want to do. Ain't no man gonna tell me what to do. They're gonna tell me what I should do and what I shouldn't do. You know what I'm saying? If I'm involved in illegal, I make any choice, it's my choice. Therefore, when it's my choice, I can accept the consequences for my actions. You know what I'm saying? If I decide to go over there and pop a motherfucker, that's because I want to pop him. And if I get caught, I'm willing to take the time. If I decide to do this, do that, that's my choice. If I decide to move here, that's my choice. If I decide to quit this job, that's my choice. Therefore, when you make those own choices, whether they're right or wrong, you can live with it. And see, when you get involved in these games, it's not always your choice. Because you could be put in those predicaments to where it could be a life-changing circumstance to where maybe you get killed, you see a loved one get killed, or you have to kill somebody because of the choices you make. And nobody ever talks about that. You know, people all talk about the high and mighty, about getting active and all that, man. You know, and whether I know what my standings are, but I can get active just as fucking active as any motherfucker on the streets if I need to be at any given moment. It's nothing. But that's if I make that choice. A lot of people are just fucking playing the actor role at times, you know what I'm saying? As far as in that gang lifestyle. Therefore, they want to be in, but they don't want to have to do the do. Therefore, when they get caught up, they have to ask themselves, fuck. So don't do anything that you don't do anything in life that you won't accept consequences. And that goes for anybody. Be willing to accept the consequences for your actions. We all have choices. And being in a gang is a choice. You know what I'm saying? There comes a time where you have to decide, family or gang. You know what I'm saying? Myself, my own mental state or gang. because we know where it leads us. Prison, death, life installment plan. And by the time you finally maybe figure things out that, you know what, I could do something else with myself, it may be too late. That door may have been closed and the opportunities may be limited. Always remember that, man. You know, I brought this up because I seen someone say something though, right? But I wasn't loyal to them. Why am I gonna? Those three people, they weren't loyal to me. They chose money over fucking my wife's respect and dignity. The same one who saved her now out there in the streets. The same one that held her mug. They chose someone that disrespected her. You know what I'm saying? Over her. When she had done just as much and she put in more fucking money probably than this motherfucker ever did. And so where's the loyalty have to be? You didn't show me no loyalty. She's a part of me. She's an extension of me. This ain't no regular sponsor. This ain't no regular fucking side piece. This ain't nothing like that. Therefore, you ain't showing loyalty to me. I owe no loyalty to you. That was a choice. And what decisions are you going to make if you're in that situation? People can say they do this and that, man. And 99% of you guys are full of shit. There may be that small percentage that maybe would. I think there's even a bigger percentage of those that are just going to accept it and shut their mouth and fucking swallow their pride and look like a bitch. There may be those that say, fuck it, they go to the extreme. And see, that's just always been a choice of who you are. And that's why, like I said, man, you know, really at times you have to step out of yourself and look at what you're doing with your life. Are you ready for the consequences? Is this what you have in front of you really what you want? Is it really righteous? Once you answer those questions, you can make the choice for yourself. With that said, your boy Flacco, I'm gone.